What's going on, everybody? It's your boy DJ R. Cole.
And I am the queen, and you're tuned into Boss Talk.
Today we have another one of our special guests, accomplished guests that we like to have on the show here, which is why we
Mhm.
call it Boss Talk. We always like to talk to those who
Mhm.
are movers and shakers in the skate community, and as well as others who are just the normal people that we see every day in the skating rink, but never get a chance to really get to know them. So today we actually have BeeOne in the house. What's happening, my man?
What's going on, everybody?
All right, can't complain. With everything going on, but we gonna make it do what it do.
Right.
So, so first off, we always start with our pretty much our signature question. It started to become our signature
I
question.
know, right?
Now is
Because everybody wants to know, though.
everybody wants to know how long have you been skating and when did you start?
Mm. Let me think about that one for a second.
Let me ask you:
Yeah.
is that the
Because
same
it's been
question?
it's
When did
been
you
off
start?
and on,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
It's been off and on.
Off and on.
So
Yeah.
I guess every kid gets a pair of skates, right? I mean when they're
Yeah.
little,
Yeah.
So I
They're
guess I
usually
got
close
I
to it.
started skating around like 3 or 4, you
Mhm.
know. But I really didn't like latch on to it until I was about 13 actually.
Okay.
I was a late bloomer in the roller skates actually. So I'd be hearing people like, yeah, I was 2, 3,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
actually diehard skaters.
Yeah.
Um, I was a late bloomer. And the reason why I started roller skating, to be honest, was for the girls, man. I'm gonna
At
be
least you're
real.
honest.
Everybody be lying. Like, yeah, it was for the passion immediately. Oh, I
Yeah.
was 10. I just knew. Like, you stop it. Stop it. Maybe your parents, maybe some type
Yeah.
of other influence,
Mm.
because if that was the case, the passion for roller skating, I was seeing that maybe at 3 or 4, maybe I'd have kept going. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it really started in school. And and it was like middle school
Mhm.
and everybody was going skating. And of course, like, growing up in East Cleveland, it's kind of like roller skate, what y'all do? All right, y'all,
Yeah.
just
Oh.
tough guy a little bit.
You
Like,
got to follow
roller
where
skate,
they go.
y'all go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My auntie and them used to go roller skating. I said, ain't that old? Da, da, da. Like, I said the same stuff, but I'm 12, 13, so
Mhm.
all the kids was going like, to the roller drum on Friday night, which is in Cleveland,
Mhm.
that's a teen session. And I remember like there's a girl I was crushing, and I went to like after talking smack about everybody going to the rink. I went to the rink that night, and it was jumping. I was like, dang, the energy in here is high. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
this what's up. All right, so I'm in there. I got the little rhythms or whatever, not falling all over the place. I had somewhat decent balance, but I'm stumbling a little bit.
Mhm.
And one of the girls I was crushing, I was like, hey, what's up? You trying to skate? Blah, blah, blah. Thinking I'm more serious. Like, not with those rentals on. I was like, oh,
Oh, she hit you with the
tragedy.
brownies.
And that was
Yeah.
the first time I understood like it all happened like at the beginning and at the same time. Like the first time was just like tragedy. Not with the rentals on. And
So you
people
had to up your
laughing and then
game.
it's like, oh, like, yeah, man, you can't holler at nobody in a peanut brittle. Like, oh, no, no, man. So,
What
But
was
you,
her name?
man,
You remember her name?
man, Janetta.
Janetta. If you out there
Yeah.
listening, girl,
mhm. He
you
had a
hit him
thing
up with
for you.
the brownie
Oh no,
line.
no, she became mine later, but
Oh,
we
okay.
actually dated. We actually
So it
dated.
worked.
No, he went and got them
That's
skates.
what I'm saying. He
Yeah.
went and got the skates and it
By the time,
worked.
look, that was middle school. By the time high school hit, okay,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah.
talked for a
Yeah.
second, So,
Yeah.
but it was, yeah, it was one of those things. It was just like, yo, I I was not ready for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that was honestly my thing. So I got into roller skating for girls in the beginning.
Mhm.
I started heavy like around 12, 13.
Mhm.
And then honestly, as I went to get better on the low, like nobody ain't know. I started going on Saturday mornings to actually practice
Mhm.
to impress people at first.
Mhm.
And then I realized when the rink was empty on a Saturday when I went in there to practice, and I got to feel the music and feel the floor. And like I said, family members skated. So my aunt would go sometime. You know,
Yeah.
my mother even skated. You know, that was just so crazy. My
Wow.
mother,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Wow.
So I just wasn't with it. You know, like,
Mm-hmm.
and as I started to go more, it was more so like, oh, this is for me. You
Right.
know, and then also everything that was going on in the city and everything like that, and then teenage dramas and growing up, and then
Yeah.
uh, just getting involved in the streets a little bit, just
Mm-hmm.
getting distracted and
Yeah.
doing things you ain't supposed to be doing, and skating kept me away from that. And I
Yeah.
started to
Yeah.
realize, even started to take um, those discomforts, those everyday discomforts from
Mhm.
life away, like
Mm-hmm.
those stresses, those teenage stresses and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it became an outlet, and then it became a safe haven, and it was just like the church. After a while, it was like,
Yeah.
yo, going to Sunday, going to Bible study on Sunday. It was just like I have
All
to be
right
at the rink
now.
on Friday and Saturday, and then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes Sunday afternoon for the family session.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
Yeah.
it became something I really enjoyed, and then next thing you know, I was good at
Yeah.
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
but
And
I
did you
but I've
pull your
always
boys
been
in?
very determined in everything I've done. Like, so
Mhm.
anything I touch, I strive to be the best at it.
There you
So
go. There you go. There you
yeah,
go.
and just led to one thing to another, and whew, doors opened up.
At some point, did your boys start coming with you? Because you're at the rink all the time. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
you
that
can't
this was
have
like
too many
13,
girls.
14. This
Like
Mhm.
was
you
like
can't have
13,
too many
14 though.
girls at the rink.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, 13, 14 still.
Okay.
So like I didn't start like like of course, like as far as the trendsetters and stuff, that came around 15, 16, like when all of us were hanging out, and
Mhm.
because some of those same guys, they even started coming skating more, and we started looking up at the rink,
Mhm.
and we just a group of friends, just some fly guys who like to dress nice, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So we just called ourselves the trendsetters, like, because
Yeah.
man, we also threw house parties too. So we
Okay.
TSC was a little wild back then.
You
Um,
know what's interesting is that for a lot of the generation, it seems like the middle school and the high school years was kind of like um their what's the word I'm looking for? It was kind of like the pivotal moment for them for roller skating. I mean, it
Mhm.
was
yeah,
almost like that was the thing to do. That's what you did. You went roller skating, and it was almost like a rite of passage.
yeah,
Um,
I
Mhm.
definitely agree. Culturally too.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Especially,
because I
yeah.
remember in high school and middle school, that's pretty much what I was known for. They knew me as the roller skater, and even now, whenever something pops up, all my classmates are sending me something. Man, this reminds me of you when you were skating at the rink, and
Oh
so
man, I get that all the time. I'm sure y'all
yeah,
do too.
yeah,
Oh, if somebody tagging y'all on Facebook, girl, look,
yep,
hey, bro,
yep,
look, bro,
yep,
look, they
Yeah.
skating. Like, yeah, I know. I actually know them.
Yeah.
Actually, one time
yeah,
somebody
Yeah.
actually
yeah,
tags me in the Capital City Skate Fest. I was like, yeah, I
mhm,
did all the artwork for that, man. Like, it's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, for real? And the Legends in the Sky. They was like, yeah, yeah.
yep,
Did you ever be? You ever seen something like this? Be? Like, yeah, I was
I
there.
was
I was
there.
there.
yeah. So where
Oh
did
wow.
your nickname B1 come from?
Where did it come from?
Yes.
My mother.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah, she actually gave it to me when I was younger, and just trying to figure out a lot of things. Um, like I said, growing pains, growing up in East Cleveland.
Mhm.
She just kind of just told me to stay true to myself and be one with myself, like never change for nobody, and just be authentic to myself.
Yeah.
Never try to be nobody else. Be the best you.
Yeah.
And it kind of just stuck. Be
Mhm.
one with
Mm.
yourself.
Yeah.
Mm. Very
Yeah.
insightful.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then you know, after that, I used it as an art name, and then that, of
Mhm.
course, that art also translated into skating and so forth.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So and it just stuck. But that name has actually been, yeah, it was not one of those self-given type things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Now, speaking of art, tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about your art.
Yeah.
I see a common similarity with the usage of the hearts.
hmm
So, where did that concept come from?
So the concept behind the hearts is to spread more love.
Mhm.
Spread more love in a world that shows so little. and that also that message goes back to growing up in Cleveland and just seeing the environments. I mean, it ain't no art galleries in the projects,
Mhm.
so
Mm.
what you do, the streets are your gallery, you know. So uh, paint, you know what I'm saying, back at like walls. But I
Mm.
seen a lot of graffiti art growing up too.
Okay.
Just the different gradients, the lines, the
Mhm.
you know that's where I learned composition at and everything. Like
Mm.
Mhm.
it was also my classroom. The streets was my classroom for art as well. So I learned a lot of different things and techniques out there.
Mhm.
You know, but the spread more love also came from like painting hearts on like trap houses and bandos or abandoned buildings because it's like dressing up something that's ugly.
Mhm.
You know, it's kind of like a contrast. You're putting something
Yeah.
or a band aid on a broken environment, like
Yeah.
spread more love in a world that shows so little.
Mhm.
So it was almost like a social experiment as well
Mhm.
for me
That's
growing up.
deep. That's deep.
So
So,
that's where the heart motif came from.
Mhm.
and when you with the
Spread,
trendsetters, did you guys do things together as a group to spread more love, or were
no, so
just
the hearts is my
mm,
thing by itself.
Mhm.
okay?
Um, yeah, the trendsetters, yeah, they were also involved in art as well. Some of them,
Hmm.
we kind of collaborated like more on fashion, and some
Okay.
of us did paint in the street together. But we ain't gonna
Okay.
get into that. that
So, were you ever arrested for painting on the street?
we ain't gonna talk about that either. I don't need
Oh,
y'all
oh,
looking
you
up stuff.
ran. You ran. You must be fast.
But yeah, man, it's been some days. We're just gonna leave it at that. Me and the
Mhm.
trendsetters have
Mhm.
a past, but it's all love. Look, Uncle Ice, no,
Well, we're gonna
Uncle
talk to
Ice,
Uncle
no,
Ice then.
man.
We're gonna
Yeah,
talk to him
Yeah.
he
again.
oh yeah, he was a big influence on us.
Yeah.
He was a big influence on us. Like as
Mm,
far as just making sure we stayed on that right path because we was a little rough around the edges.
Mhm.
mm.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's good too because
Yeah.
well, it, I don't want to use the term back then, but
Mhm.
there are times when people of during your age and
Mhm.
during my age, it was an older person who influenced us during our skating, and
Right,
it kept us going, you know.
Mm.
right.
And I think that's kind of what's missing. A
Yeah.
little bit,
Mhm.
No,
you
it's not a little bit. It's a lot,
well,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
you have
Yeah,
some
and
Yeah.
individuals.
partly part of that is our fault as the culture because we're
Mhm.
somewhere in the last 10 years we lost the each one teach one
Yeah,
Mhm.
factor.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, as much as we want to
Mhm.
say we want to keep that, you know, we
Mhm.
lost it as a whole. And I think mainly because the commercial aspect of roller skating, which is not a bad thing,
mhm,
you know what
Right.
I'm saying? Because we wanted in
Mhm.
those, 15 years ago, we wanted more a little more commercialism
Mhm.
in roller skating. But the thing is, everything is full circle. The thing, roller skating had that the movies, the music videos, the commercials at a point in time
mhm,
also, and then it faded away a little bit maybe in the 90s, and then it just came back again
mhm,
heavy with
Mhm.
mhm,
heavy force with roll bounce and ATL and
mhm,
stuff
Mhm.
like that. Eight wheels and some soul brother music
mhm,
documentaries such as that
Mhm.
kind of shed some more light on everything, which I think also brought more people back to roller skating. But I do feel like we are missing, some each one teach one factors in the community. Um, Mainly, like when the trendsetters came in, we came in at a period where the skate community was still predominantly older when we came in.
mhm,
Okay.
So, like, when the trendsetters came out, we were like one of the first all young groups. Nobody was really
mhm,
over the age of 21 yet.
mhm,
You know what I'm saying? So it was
Mhm.
almost like we had to get vouched for. Um, Much love to Auntie Pepper from Skateology in Columbus, Ohio, man. Like, and Skateology Peach, low key, because without them, a lot of I don't think we would have had that first validation because you taking guys who like 14 to 19 and putting them in a skate jam,
mhm.
Mhm.
and we kept our mouths closed because we just wanted to skate, right?
Right.
Right,
So no,
Right.
right.
no,
Mhm,
nobody knew.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even out of high school. Some of us were still in middle school, high school, like
Mhm.
babies in there, right? And
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I see
Mhm,
in 2006, 2007, like babies at the icy hot, and
Mhm.
we just wanted to skate. We kept our mouths closed, man. We was just there having a good time. We showed up and showed out. It was like, yo, these little homies belong in a soul circus or something. Like
Mhm.
we was flipping over each other, throwing 360s over each other, hitting 540s, land like jumping over each other, flipping one another, like a lot of acrobatics. And
Mhm.
it's just like, yo, okay,
Wow.
they just want to skate,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
one thing led
Yeah.
to another, and more people vouched for us, and we started going to more parties in the Midwest and the
Mhm.
South, and the next thing you know, of course, I got you just build those connections,
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
and then everybody is kind of like you become that group becomes the everybody's little brothers or
yeah,
nephews,
yeah.
and that's kind of what happened with us, and it was so much positive influence because I
Mhm.
think people did see like, oh, this could go really good or this could go really bad,
Right.
Right.
and they kind of like everybody, like so many people, Mama Joy, West Jigs, Uncle Jokey, Jeremy from Chicago, Uncle Ice, D Breeze, Boo
Mhm.
from New York, Richard Humphrey. Like it's
Yeah,
so many people I can
Wow.
yeah.
name that had a
Yeah.
positive influence on us. Auntie Nikki, Desi was in my ear. Whew. I love Desi from Skate Groove. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like she was here
Yeah.
in Columbus. So,
Mhm.
Desi seen me graduate high school, college. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like a lot of them watch me grow up. So it's
Mhm.
like when I was out, like when I started feeling myself a little bit in the skate scene, it was like, hey boy,
Mhm. Calm it down, calm it down. Yeah,
it's just
yeah, yeah.
yeah, because like one year, man, like the trendsetters, we was winning. We had won some adrenaline awards. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? We won competitions. This was a hot year for us, and you know what I'm saying. But at that time, and the girls was coming along too. It was 2009. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But of course, we babies, so a lot of the women we were talking to are a little older, so we was
Mhm.
feeling ourselves.
Mhm.
That skate.
Mhm.
I remember getting a phone call from the Dime Rollers, Easy and Stacy. And they was like, "Boy, what you doing down here in Atlanta?" I said, "Huh?"
Why me?
She was like, "Don't." She was like, "B, don't let us find out you down there wilding out." She said, "You better represent Ohio better than that, boy." I was like, "Okay, all right." Like, whoa.
But
Like
you know what
and
though,
they told me
it's
they was like
it's
people watching, people
yeah,
Right,
watching,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
and the first thing that like we weren't even old, like some of us weren't even old enough to be at Skate-a-thon.
Mhm.
So it's like, yo, chill,
Yeah,
chill. Yo, they
Yeah.
letting y'all like y'all sliding with a lot of stuff.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like
But
Mhm.
don't
that's
don't
good
mess
though
that up
that
for y'all.
you guys came in that era, which was kind of like the intel that
Yeah.
that's what I'm gonna call it,
Of that
Hmm.
guiding hand.
of that guiding hand,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and of skaters who were really
family
into
oriented.
the art,
Yes.
family orientated.
Yeah.
Because as you're speaking, it's reminding me
Mm.
a lot of stuff that I
Mhm.
went through. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
was going to skate parties that I wouldn't even close enough, old enough to get into, but because my mentality was about the art, it wasn't a problem,
Hmm.
Mm.
but then
Exactly.
Yeah.
as we go through the years, I started to see a big difference in the younger ones that were coming in.
Mhm.
So
Right.
for you, um, what do you think is one of the biggest issues with
Mm.
the younger ones that are coming in now? Um, and as far as guidance, I'll put
Social
it that
media.
way. Mhm.
Wow.
You can't beat guy like your parents.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I hate to say this, and
Yeah.
a lot of people might get offended when I say it, but
Mhm.
um, it's hard to you like parents and guardians are going at a battle with society and technology.
Yeah.
Your
Mhm.
child or your youth or your what I'm saying, your teen
Mhm.
or whoever, your young adult is on social media all the time, especially
Mhm.
right
Yeah.
now. You know what I'm saying? And that releases dopamine when they get those likes, those friend requests,
Oh
those
yeah. Yeah.
those validations.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Whereas a
Mhm.
lot of that stuff, I had social media too, Facebook, MySpace,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I think the thing is that we didn't use it for validation. It was still
Right.
very organic. Like we spoke
Yeah.
to people, we
Mhm.
had
Yeah.
communication.
Mhm.
I didn't go and to a party, and take a few pictures and then go back on MySpace like, yo, we the
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
man,
got
I'm
100
aware that I'm
likes.
popular.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
got a
Yeah.
few friend requests or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and that's like, okay. Because
Mhm.
it was a point in time, everybody on Facebook and Instagram now, but all the skaters was on MySpace
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
Skate Groove
Mhm.
Oh
this
yeah,
was
I
a point in
remember
Mhm.
time where it was
some.
just like
Yeah,
a
Yeah.
Jive
blog, like
Biscuit
you
and
Yeah.
yeah.
posted your bulletin or your
Mhm.
note on there on
Mhm.
Skate
Yeah.
Crew. That's
Yep.
how we used to communicate. That was our wall. That was our feed.
Mhm.
Yes, it
It
was.
was no Facebook,
Mhm. Mhm.
wall where everybody seen each other's posts. The
Mhm.
post was at skategroove.com when
Mhm.
we talked
Mhm.
about like everybody went to a skate jam and then you'll leave your comment there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you seen everybody and your recap of the situation.
Yeah.
And then you might post some pictures on MySpace.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then also we had so many websites and stuff too back then,
Mhm.
our own. But
Mhm.
I feel like oh well, the Guardians or anything can't win against social media, man. That's the big
Yeah.
issue right
Yeah.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But
That
as
goes
young
back.
adults, they have to also learn to separate it.
Mhm.
Take
Yeah.
responsibility and
Yeah.
separate it from for themselves.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they
It.
also have to want that.
Mhm.
You
And
know what
it's
I'm
so
saying? Like we
strong. The
we
pull is so
Yeah. The
strong,
pull is
though,
strong.
because
And.
yeah.
even at school, they want your kids to be on the computer and
Mhm.
stuff. They're gearing them.
So it's harder, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and you
Yeah.
have,
Yeah.
parents have to work, so
Yeah.
they have the system has your kids the majority of the
Mhm.
day,
Well,
and
I
Exactly.
think
yeah,
technology is good,
it's good,
but the
and
problem
It's good, but
is.
it's how it's you see
it's
anything of too much. Like what they
yes,
say, too much of anything can be bad.
Mhm.
yeah.
I think that's what it is. It's like that blue light start frying them babies' brains or
You need to
something,
learn
man.
to
If you
Yeah.
know,
disconnect.
Yeah.
You have to know
you
how
know,
to
Mhm.
disconnect,
But I
and
also
it's a
think
problem.
that um, one of the biggest issues, and I've said this before, and right now it's the strongest drug ever, and that is attention.
Mm,
And people wanting to get that fame, that notoriety. Right now, the world is based upon likes and looks.
mhm.
And
yes,
that's what's
yes,
taking a
definitely,
lot of the focus away from
The art
the
itself,
art and the family structure that
yeah.
was there in roller skating. You know, as I go through different social media posts, I love seeing the pictures of our skaters in movement because it's poetry in motion.
Mhm.
I like seeing the videos. You know, but I also see a pattern of uh, if you don't have a lot of followers or a lot of likes, then I don't want to follow you.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
Mhm.
that's corny.
Yeah.
it's
It is.
popularity.
It
Yeah,
is.
Where we should all be supporting everybody on every single platform, no matter what it
right,
is. You
Yeah.
know, that's how we keep the platform going, and that's how we keep the art and the culture going.
right.
And if we stay divided, like unfortunately there's a lot of that going on right now, then we can't conquer if we're divided. We have to be together.
Yeah.
And the only way for us to be together is for us to support everybody in all their ventures.
Yeah. And respect is another thing. I think that a lot of it, you're losing a lot of the younger generation is
Hmm.
losing a lot of respect for the art
Right.
itself because they're focused on the attention and losing the respect of the art.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
And that's exactly
yeah,
what happened. You just hit the nail on the
yeah,
head.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants to be heard.
Hmm.
The fact that the art of it is actually going away because we have more people standing around looking at each other than
Hmm.
hmm
skating now.
yeah,
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's a problem to me.
Hmm.
Like you really come to the rink to stand and look. That
Hmm.
ain't no different than the nightclubs now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
yeah,
saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
everybody just go to the bar, to the club to literally grab a drink and stand there and be on their phone.
Hmm.
Weirdest thing ever
I
to me.
know. Like you could
I'm
have did that
sorry.
at home.
Like,
Yeah.
whoa. And then when you start dancing and actually talking to people, they look like you look crazy and then they jump back on their phone. Like,
Yeah,
Hmm.
why the hell are you here?
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, what did you come out for?
Yeah.
So we see the same thing at the rink where we might see people just, you know, standing there. Or I have talked to some people though, and who just said they just like to come and watch. Just
Hmm.
as far as culturally, it's different. It's a
mhm,
safer
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I understand that.
Hmm.
But then I'm talking about the skaters who literally just come and just, you know, be on their phone, gossip,
Yeah.
just be there, wasting space.
Want
Like,
to
come
talk
on.
about
Yeah.
people and
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah,
that, and
part of the movement that ain't about you.
yeah,
Mhm.
wow, interesting.
Very interesting. I just want to know like how we can like what we can do now because like the younger generation they don't even want to listen to the older generation like that guiding hand that was there for our generation but now it's like the young people come in and when you have that older person trying to give them that guidance it's kind of like a pushback like you
Yeah,
can't tell me nothing.
yeah,
So how
Well,
do we get them
I'm
back?
gonna be real. Like honestly, I think it's all mental.
yeah. It's a
Because
choice. Mhm,
um, it really has nothing to do with age. I'm gonna be honest with
Mhm.
mhm,
y'all. It really doesn't have anything to do with age because I done came across some older, newer skaters
oh yeah,
who act
yeah,
just the same way.
yeah,
You know, they be 36 and, you know, they came in and seen a girl splitting and everything, but they came in at 33, done went, been in the game for a couple years, went to a
Yeah.
couple parties, and now they
hmm.
know
It's that
and be on
shock
Facebook
factor.
all the
Uh-huh.
time. So it's like, yo, you technically you really only been here like 4 years, bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, because
Mm,
you're older, everybody thinks you're OG. Okay,
mm,
gotcha.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah, I've come across those too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me too.
Um,
Cause
I
you
think
36
it,
don't make you mature
yeah,
though.
no, 36 does not make you mature,
Mm-hmm.
and just because you're an older skater doesn't make you an OG.
It
Mm-hmm.
You
does
know,
not.
so in
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, you just an older skater, my G.
Yeah.
My G.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. You just an older skater, my G, not an OG. But yeah, and I think like because we came in young and we were respectful. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, like I said, we were rough around the edges. Like I got
Mhm.
some real street dudes in the trendsetters. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not about age. It's about maturity and respect.
That
You know what I'm saying?
mentality.
But also their respect level had street aspects to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't have anything to do with just respect in general should flow across the board. You know what I'm saying? So that is actually um, sad that some people just at the youth can't show respect, and I think that's just part of their upbringing.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I have some younger guys in my group who 19, 20, and they straight, but
Yeah.
they also have the influence of the TSC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of like all my guys, my younger guys have a lot of guidance to the point where the trendsetters literally like it runs itself now, you know. Um, and it's like it's a safe haven. Like, it is also outside of skating. These guys we communicate with each other, we talk to each other, we depend on each other. We all we got. Like we really go by that.
It's family.
Mm-hmm.
It's family for
Yeah.
real.
And
Yeah.
it's been like I think like next year the trendsetters will be 15 years. For
Wow.
skate groups, that is like what?
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot
But
of skate groups
Yeah.
don't make it
I
that
done
long.
seen groups. Yeah, I
Yeah.
done seen groups come and go, and
Mm-hmm.
we talking about a group that started in '06. And then on top of that, like all babies,
Mm-hmm.
14 and 19.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So now, guess what? A lot of us is still young. It's just like we just been here a long time. We like
Yeah.
Yeah.
young
Yeah.
old, like we
Yeah.
young OGs. That's what it is. Like
So
we've
how
been
many
here.
trendsetters is there?
It's 28 of us total,
28
Mhm.
spread out.
spread out.
28 of
Okay.
us total. Yeah,
Throughout the
yeah.
US, right?
Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
overseas in London.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Wow. How many of your
Yeah,
core that came in when you started in what was it, '06? How many
yeah,
were the core trendsetters or are they all are you core group still there?
yeah, yeah.
That's good.
Most
Cool.
of them. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's, it's six of us that's still from the very beginning here.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah,
is
but
so
like the
cool.
even the ones who because TSU is family.
Uh-huh.
So the thing is, even the ones who because we were young, everybody has their creative differences.
Yeah.
But like with us, we might stumble, but we never fall. Like the
Mhm.
empire kept moving. So the ones who did leave, a lot of them got like tattoos with Trendsetter. Like we
Mm-hmm.
actually tattooed our body like
Wow.
early.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like with TSC is like we really like
Yeah.
it's more
Yeah.
than just skating for us. Like a lot, like so some of the ones who aren't like where they forever trendsetters. That's
Yeah.
what we say. Like if once you become a trendsetter, it's forever,
Yeah.
regardless of anything.
Mm-hmm.
So the ones who did have creative differences from we all are actually still very close.
Mhm.
Shout out to
Yeah.
like Mark, Marwan, Dodo, Trinell. Kid, KO, like a lot of those guys who from Cleveland with me, they don't, none of them are trendsetters, but I can call them up and we can chop it up, and you know what I'm saying. We talk,
Yeah.
so it's all love. It's no ill will against them, and even during our 10-year anniversary, guess what? Every trendsetter from every year came together as one.
Wow.
It was
Wow.
beautiful, man. The 10-year
Yeah.
celebration in Cleveland was epic. Like
Wow.
our
That's a
price came up
bond.
for that. It was, yeah, it was just like, whoa, okay, like all the trendsetters came together. And it was a bittersweet time because that was
Mhm.
also a time, like I said, we have passed, but we lost one of our brothers to gun violence,
Mm.
Okay.
and it was a bittersweet time because we actually lost him a few weeks before our 10-year anniversary.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that
Um,
was a hard pill, I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yes. Much love and rest in peace to Sadario. Dario, he was one of those early trendsetters though,
Okay.
one of those pioneers of TSC. He was only 14 when
Oh
he
wow.
started.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mm.
and traveling, going to Icy Hot,
Mm.
saying, going to Cincinnati, going to different parties. So
Yeah.
we've been here, yeah, like I said, 15 years next year.
So what do you
15
think?
years.
What do you think the skate community needs most right now?
Humility.
Mhm.
Shit.
Wow.
Humble
That's a good
yourselves,
one.
man.
That
Yeah.
is a good one. Because
Humble
from that,
yourselves.
so many other things come.
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It'd be a domino effect. If we got
Yeah.
humility back, it'd be a domino effect. If people stop being about themselves so much,
Mhm.
and selfish, and just worry about me, 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 and my
Mhm.
camera time, my pictures, me, 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 me,
Yeah.
me. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
I want the sponsorships. I want to do this. I want
Mhm.
all the
Yeah.
endorsements. I want to be
Yeah.
on TV.
Yeah.
I'm going
Yeah.
to be the best skater, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, keep that confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the
Yeah.
Yeah.
confidence, but
And
make
it's
sure it
funny
doesn't flow into arrogance.
when we see uh, a lot of our friends and family, in the skate community, because I actually sit back and watch. As we were talking about earlier, I'm kind of like one of the people that are kind of like back in the cut, but I sit back and I watch and I see a lot of our skaters doing great things and I see a lot of our skaters being happy for them. But then you see those that are kind of like, why they get it, you
Yeah.
know. But my thought process has always
Mhm.
been everything that they did, you could do too.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
it's a matter of wanting it and going for
Executing
it
it.
and
Yeah.
executing it.
Mhm.
Right. So
Hmm.
when I hear about groups like yours, and you guys are still a young OG group, we'll say.
Yeah. Yeah. And the
you
Hmm.
know,
bonds.
yeah, you guys have a bond. You guys are definitely trendsetters.
Yeah.
You know, so I definitely commend you guys on all that.
Thank you.
Has there been a point in your skating where you were like, you know what, this is just too much?
Never. I was built for this.
Hey,
All
there
right
you
now.
go. True soldier. True soldier.
The street soldier, he said that. He's like he working it. The trendsetters was out there in the trenches, so
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
I,
were
I
built
was
for
built
it.
for this, man.
Hmm.
It's like,
Okay.
What's been one of the
uh,
most, I think, disappointing things that you've seen or experienced without
Mhm.
naming names or anything like that?
oh, I don't care about name, but one of the most
They may.
one of the most disappointing things.
Mhm.
I got to think about that one, like, cause
Mm.
okay, personal. One of the
Mhm.
most difficult things that I've had to deal with roller skating and the trendsetters is that, because we were all young,
Mhm.
and like I had visions at a young age. Like uh, I hate to say this, but I kind of was ahead of my time a little bit on a
Mhm.
lot of the things I thought about,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it's hard to uh, convey or try to um, tell other
Mhm.
people your age about a vision or the things that you have in mind,
Mhm.
Mhm.
because they don't see it. Y'all might not see eye to eye on everything.
Yeah.
So you tend to bump heads, or they might have a lack of motivation because they just don't see the vision that you have, you know.
Mhm.
So that was an issue. That was a major issue.
Mhm.
Um, but it was, yeah, it was rough because
Mhm.
it's your brothers,
Yeah.
it's your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure y'all can relate. Like you
Mhm.
trying to convey something to your family
Yeah.
members, and they just not getting it. Like you
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
yo,
Yeah.
it's right here. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
right
I
here. If we
see
do
it.
this, we
Mhm.
gonna win. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
bro, nah, man, we ain't with that shit, man. Nah,
Yeah.
bro, like,
Yeah.
because it's, we have a little bit of ignorance, and like I said,
Yeah.
we were
Mhm.
just ignorant to certain things,
Yeah.
and that's actually how, like, part of like in the early years that the trendsetters, like, we went through a little rough patch, but we got
Mhm.
through it. And
Mhm.
that's what I said, like, it took them to have to, like, to grow on their own.
Mhm.
And then, like, later on, it was like, like, but by then we
I
had
get
kind of
it.
separated.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
by then we
Yeah.
separated,
Yeah.
because we had our creative differences. But then it was like, all right, Obama B, we see
Yeah.
you.
Mhm.
Oh.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's what Trinell used to call me. He used to crack jokes.
Oh,
He called me Obama B. And
okay. I'll
because he's
take
like, bro,
it.
you have he said, little bro, you got a vision. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And they, a lot of the, and then also it was difficult because um, these guys really put a lot of trust in me because some of them
Mhm.
are older than me. Like I was caught like right in the middle. So imagine being a president of a group that you started, and
Mhm.
half the members are like, part of them are older than you and some of them are younger than you. And you like right in the middle.
Mhm.
So now, you got the younger ones who like, all right, big bro, because they see you, like the moves you make. And the older ones do too. But they only older by 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
But because they're older, they automatically have that. Oh well, I got it. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
it's hard. Like I think it was more so like a ego thing. You don't
Yeah.
want your little brother
Mhm.
telling you what to do or the next
Mhm.
moves to make. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it was more of an ego thing for them. And because like I said, I had the vision and what I wanted to do with trendsetters, and we did that.
Mhm.
Like we didn't only just make skate history, we made history.
Yeah.
You know, shout out to Tyrone Dixon for helping us get in the LA Museum of Art.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like roller skating. It's a lot of stuff that the skate world and community doesn't know just because we don't throw our resume down like that
Yeah.
Right.
or
Yeah.
Right.
brag and boast. You know what I'm saying? But like when we see people brag and boast, it's like, oh yeah, we did that already.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
cats
Yeah.
be like, oh right, hell, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, well, a lot of us did that already. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
07, 08, 09, had sponsorships. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Or getting different sponsorships. I even from Rydell, the Perfect Skates. Shout out to
Mhm.
Alex Malone. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff that we were doing early on that it was just like, okay, let's keep this energy going. Let's keep this movement going.
Mhm.
And like I said, the rough part was just to displaying that to your brothers
Yeah.
and trying to get them to come along with you
Right.
on that journey.
Yeah.
That was the most disappointing thing
It
because not
crazy.
no like all the situations I've been through in the community, dealing with money, people, other, like, I was fine.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It's when it hits home, when you're trying
Yeah.
to really get the
Mhm.
message across at home and they don't see it. And it's just like, we can go far, guys, but y'all don't feel what I'm saying. So
Yeah. Yeah.
eventually you got to let that go. You got to let
Yeah.
them go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
going to hurt,
Yeah.
man. Like
Mhm.
cutting
Yeah.
ties hurts,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. It does.
But you heal and y'all both learn. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to walk away from some of my brothers,
Mhm.
but I
Mhm.
had to in order for them to grow as well, and in order for me to grow as well. Because once I let them go, I noticed another growth inside of me. I leveled up again. So it
Mhm.
was like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, well
Mhm.
maybe I was mentally. You was pulling me back, bro. But then it wasn't necessarily that. It was they had to grow on their own too.
Yeah.
And on their own
It's like
time.
duality. It's like
Yeah.
yin and yang.
Mhm.
Yeah. And on
I
their
can
own
move and you can stay
time.
the same, and I understand that
Yep.
Wow.
duality.
But do you know always notice that creative minds tend to be visionaries?
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Always. It's just like throughout history, and
Mhm.
it's always, you're always in that path where, and it's like you said, it's difficult to try to bring someone with you when they can't see the vision
Right.
or they're not willing to
Right.
trust your vision.
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
always
Yeah.
difficult. And
Yeah.
like you said,
And it's
to cut
frustrating
ties
too.
is hard. But you have to because you can't live your life on someone else's time because your
Mhm.
vision can't wait.
Mhm.
No,
Yeah.
it can't. Oh no, it can't because
Yeah.
somebody else will take it. Like if you're thinking
Yeah.
about it, 9 times out of 10,
Yeah.
somebody else is thinking about it as well.
Yep. Yep. And you've done so much. I mean, artistically, you're just out there and just moving like, behind the scenes, but you're doing your thing.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, so what's next for you guys?
Um, well, like after making the moves that we did, to be honest, we more so behind the scenes on a lot of people projects now.
Okay.
So we have involvement with IR,
Mhm.
Jive Biscuit, Icy Hot, Legends in the Sky, and we were part of the Capital City Skate Fest.
Mhm.
We was a part of Soulscape for a minute. Like we could go on. So a
Mhm.
lot of the big parties that y'all know about, it's like
Mhm. They're
we
seeing
have,
you without seeing
yeah,
you.
Yeah.
yeah, we put some input in there. Whether we sponsored our time, graphic
Mhm.
design, marketing, and branding. You know what I'm saying? Investing, putting up money.
Mhm.
We kind of like silent partner on a lot of stuff without bragging or boasting about it.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
because there used to be a time where we said, yeah, we don't throw parties, we crash. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's like, yo, why don't y'all throw a party? Trendsetters throw a party, it would be
Mhm.
crazy.
Mhm.
And we waited to 10 years
Mhm.
of us being up because like over the years we helped everybody else do events. So
Yeah.
about time our 10-year anniversary came, it was like, yo, let's just do a party just because,
Mhm. Mhm.
And it was more so like a family reunion for us as well.
Mhm.
For the Midwest, it was dope. We had a lot of good friends and family there, people who came skating who we ain't seen in a while.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like in our time frame, and we got to see those skaters, some skaters who kind of shied away from the scene, come
Mhm.
back for our party. So that was cool to see that.
Mhm.
You say you have
Oh
international members. Have you actually skated internationally?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I was sponsored by Mahogany Music,
Mhm.
um, Ken Dixon, and Soul Skate, and I went overseas. It was 2014,
Uh-huh.
for about a week or so,
Where'd you
and
go?
uh, to London.
Okay.
And we actually traveled throughout the UK. So we
Okay.
also skated. I also skated in a UK music festival. Stevie
Mhm.
Wonder headlined. That was an experience.
Wow.
Nice.
Skating in front of a sea of like thousands of people, man.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
Wow.
I know your heart was
like
pumping.
man, the
Adrenaline.
energy though was
Mhm.
so crazy. I was hyped. I got I
Mhm.
like I like I still have my skates on. Jumped off the stage, was like wilding out with the people because there was like a barricade right there, so they could. So I was just like running through, like yeah,
Wow.
extra pumped because it was like I'd never experienced nothing like that,
Mhm.
especially being on the VIP end of
Yeah.
it. So
Mhm.
it was just like and I was running past, and everybody had their hands out like I was like some super celebrity or something.
You
And I was just
were.
on stage. I was just on stage skating, and
Yeah.
Kenny Dixon was Moody Man.
Mhm.
He's major overseas, man,
Mhm.
major house DJ overseas,
Mhm.
and man, the crowd was going crazy to the music, and I was
Wow.
feeling that, and I just had to jump out there, and that was one of the best experiences of my life too. And
Nice.
Wow.
me and Batman, Trendsetter Josh,
Mhm.
Wow.
Mhm.
yeah, like Kenny Dixon had sponsored us to go over there, and then that's where we actually picked up our trendsetter over there,
Mhm.
CJ
Okay.
Jepson.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so Skate Lisa actually introduced us to
Mhm.
CJ,
Mhm.
and it just one thing led to another. He fit, he was young, he was fresh. He's a
Mhm.
Wow.
tattoo artist, he's an artist himself. So it was just like he was like, oh my god, I found my family. I found my family, but they're overseas.
My American brethren.
You know what I'm saying? So he was just like, whoa, man. He was like, and nobody fit everything that he did. You know what I'm saying? He was
Yeah.
just like, y'all artists, y'all creatives, y'all dress
Wow.
fly, and y'all skate. Oh, he had the tattoos and the piercings. So it's like, yo, this is my family right here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Wow.
after that, we linked, and we actually brought him overseas later, and he actually crossed over at Skateathon.
Mhm.
So it took about a
Wow.
year and a half, but he went through a probation period and everything. And
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, and became the first
Nice.
trendsetter
First
overseas.
international trendsetter.
Yeah, first international trendsetter. Yeah.
Nice,
Wow.
nice,
And CJ since then has, man, like, he's done stuff for G Shock, Reebok, Puma. Like,
nice.
Wow.
he over there, yeah, it's a lot of opportunities over there, because
Yeah.
it's still very unique. And
Yeah.
then when we went over there, it was still, some of that stuff was very taboo. Like, I hear
Mm.
from skaters now that that's in London or overseas, and like, when you came over here, like, to this day,
Mhm.
I had a message just recently from a skater, um, and she was just like, "Yo, when you came over here in 2014, that influence is still here,
Mm.
and it's 2020." So that meant a
That's
lot. Like, this is six
amazing.
years ago, yo. Like,
Yeah,
wow, like,
yeah.
6 years ago, my impact still is over. Like, that's
Mhm.
dope,
Mm-hmm.
So that right there in itself, is was monumental to me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's nice. Definitely dope. Well, it was a pleasure speaking with you, my man. We're not gonna
Yeah.
keep you. You mentioned earlier you got your kids running around, so make sure
Yeah,
you.
you hear the kids.
Yeah, we heard you
Yeah.
put us on mute.
Yeah, man,
It's
had
all,
to. They listen. My kids is just as turned as me, yo.
Hey.
it's all good,
I
man.
don't know if y'all heard it. Like, Daddy!
Yeah, we heard. It's okay though. It's
Do they
okay.
skate?
Man. Yeah, they skate.
They
Okay.
do.
They skate.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Good deal. Good deal.
they go naturals.
Mhm.
All right
Good deal.
now.
So you have a bunch of little B1s running around
I
in the
know.
skating rink.
B1,
Man,
B2,
listen.
B3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. Look, B2, B3.
All right. So real
Yeah.
quick, tell our listeners and our viewers how they can get a hold of you.
Oh, you went out for a second. What was that?
Let our listeners know and our viewers know how they can get a hold of you.
They can actually reach out to me on Instagram at BEE _NE_. Don't let the following intimidate you. We just talked about this earlier.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I am very cool. Just don't have a private account, and I'll follow back.
All
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
uh, I follow back on Instagram,
Mhm.
Twitter, the same thing. You can reach out to me on Facebook. I have a website, BeeOne.com, if you want to check out some of the art.
Mhm.
Um, Anybody wanted to reach out to me for graphic design or marketing and branding, I'm available for that as well. You can contact me via Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. However,
All right now.
website, you can contact me on my email.
The man is accessible, so you have no
Indeed.
excuse.
No
Exact, no
excuses.
excuses. I'm a creative problem solver.
No excuses at all. Well, we greatly appreciate you, taking your time to
Yeah.
speak to us. We greatly appreciate
Mm,
it. Um, we wish you much success,
definitely.
and hopefully, once everything is back,
Yeah.
to normal,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
Whatever
man.
that may be.
whenever that may
Right.
be.
We
Yeah.
got the whole stay at home order, right? Can't
Yeah.
escape
Yeah,
nobody.
yeah. Whenever that may be, we will hopefully see you on the wood and
Yes.
be able to chop it up again and
Definitely.
just shoot the breeze a little bit.
Definitely.
So with that
It
being
was
said,
nice talking to you guys.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. So again, you have a good one, and
Yeah.
until next time, we
We'll
will see
see
you
you
on the
on the
wood.
wood.